All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first ever episode of the Shoutcaster sessions. And yeah, so my name is Asurai. I'll be your host, or at least main speaker for this kind of segment that I am cooking up with. I'm gonna lower the music here now. So, all right, so basically, Shoutcaster sessions is a thought of mine that I think that I just came up with about 2 weeks ago. And basically what this is a streaming segment that helps aspiring shoutcasters, by giving them let's say intro tips or an introduction on what shoutcasting is. Because I think most people who kind of want to get into shoutcasting only think that shoutcasting is screaming in front of people. Well, that's like the cherry on top, one of the cherries on top, but that's not actually the meat of the profession, And everyone there in the chat, guys, welcome to the stream. And this is going to be something that, again, I have never done specifically, but I will try to do my best. And if you guys have any questions in the chat, I will be answering to that after the start. We'll actually be having a guest speaker here. Her name, of course, you know her already. It's going to be Riku. She's going to be joining us in a little bit. I think she's just getting some food right now. And give me a moment here. I am trying to share the post to as many groups as I can, to maximize our reach. Because I want to have feedback from you guys. Like, if I need more information to be given and whatnot. Anyways, all there guys in the chat, welcome. We're also going to have this as a video. Oh god, I can't believe I actually did not start recording, but it should be fine. We have Twitch VODs, Twitch VODs to the rescue. Alright, so I guess we can actually start it off. I'll contact you soon. Can you show yourself at Discord so I can change your role? Alright. So, once again, this is going to be, I guess, an introduction already. So, let's get started. Everybody there in the chat, I guess while we're waiting for Riku here again, what is shoutcasting? So I was just again, this is just all of I was just preparing the talking points for the stream. And shoutcasting is the act wherein esports commentators discuss or talk about tournaments in real time. That is basically what shoutcasting is. It's esports commentary. That's what basics of it. So I guess while we're still waiting, maybe if you guys have any questions there, I can actually ask it for the meantime while you're still waiting. But again, I do have a program flow here that I'm just gonna be waiting a little bit. I guess I can already start for it. I'm still so nervous about this, but yeah. So the biggest thing that I think a lot of people don't know in shoutcasting is that it actually has basics, and those basics I think are not mulled over or thought about by people who start shoutcasting. And it's fine, because all of these people are just getting into the field. They don't really know what is supposed to be done, because of course there will always be different styles of shoutcasting, different perceptions of what shoutcasting is, but you always gotta have the foundations. And I'm gonna give you a bit of the foundations that I found in my years of casting. And if you guys didn't know, I have been shoutcasting already for about 3 years now, close to 4 years by the end of the year. So yeah, like people can say, you know what, Asurai, you're just a blabbermouth, but I'm just saying here that I'm not gonna say that I'm an expert. I'm just saying that these are things that you can, you know, use whenever you're feeling lost when you're casting. So let's begin. What are the basics in shoutcasting? For me, there are 4 fundamentals that I have seen, and these fundamentals are, first of all, is game knowledge. So for example, basics is you have League of Legends, right? Wait, hang on. I'm actually messaging I'm at the A rank lobby right now. Okay. Alright. Hi. Alright, so... Okay. I guess I'll go to the lobby as well. Give me a moment. Alright, so... Paradox, if you can hear me, you don't have to talk just yet, but if you want to listen in to me, you can, or you can just mute me if you want to. You can just listen to the stream. But I'm gonna like start the basic lesson first, and then if you have any questions, just ask me afterwards. Okay, man?
Sure, man.
Alright, awesome. Alright, so let's get started. Again, okay, so who was the person I was talking to is gonna be our guest for later. His name is Paradox. I'll give him a little bit more of an intro later on, but like to what I was saying, okay, so let's get started with the basic shoutcasting. We have the first basic is game knowledge, and how you get game knowledge is I kind of like dissected it into 3 things, which is studying the game, watching competitive scene, pro games, you know, being able to learn from others, and experience from yourself. Okay, I'll compound on that a little bit. But again, guys, much love and thank you for joining us right now in the chat. I can see a lot of the guys right here. I'm still kind of mulling over. This is the first time I'm doing this, and yeah, not gonna go deeper into that. Anyways, so what I was saying again is that you have 3 things to start off with game knowledge, which is of course studying the game, because there is a difference from understanding the game by playing it and understanding the game by studying it. You can have like all of the greatest game sense in the world, which you can definitely or rather you can actually have the best micro in the world, but that does not completely translate into game knowledge. So you still have to study the game, and by this I mean you have to study the game where you check out, of course, the ever-changing patch notes. Let's say hero knowledge, like what the skills do, because people sometimes don't know what skills do. Basically, sometimes they just see the stun. For example, we have a hero that has a stun, but you didn't know that stun has to like decay. It has to like it will happen after 2 seconds once the skill hits, something like that. And that from that like separation of understanding what the skill is immediately gives you a higher quality of casting. If you get what I'm saying, it's like that. So you have to have that. That again, that's studying for the game. I'm not gonna say I'm like the best studier out there. I'm actually terrible at studying. Yeah, I was horrible at school, but I'm just saying that you have to be able to at least have basic game knowledge, such as that, and then you can keep studying the more intricates, you know? And yeah. Alright, so the other way for you to do it is, aside from, of course, like reading the, let's say, League of Legends Wikipedia or whatever for champion stats, item stats and whatnot, what they do with like the interactions between heroes, is what the top players do with those heroes in the game as well. So you also have to be able to watch the competitive scene, because I have had a time wherein I was I thought that by just casting and playing the game, I would have done well already with my cast. But then when I started watching games a little bit more and kind of like saw how people I saw how the teams were kind of like doing their thing, which is like, for example, again, this is going to be more of League of Legends. For example, they kind of for example, this team did a 4-minute, let's say, dragon. Again, this is just all hypothetical. They went for a 4-minute dragon. Why did they do that? It's because it's the optimal time. It's because they got kills. It's because it was free. And yet those slight things that you thought that you know, but then you didn't, is why you would want to watch, again, pro games. Being able to, understanding the game by yourself is great, but if you can understand the game from others as well, to see it from their perspective is also going to be crucial in you to have more opinions. And I think the more opinions that you have, the more facts that you can get from this is your arsenal when you're casting. Basically, casting is a battlefield wherein your ammunition is the knowledge that you get from yourself, from your casting, and from the game, from the casting of others, and from the games that you watch other people play. If that makes any, if that makes any sense. And the third one is, oh my gosh, why is it so cold in my room? The third one is experience. At the very start of casting, I'm actually going to show you something, guys. At the very start of casting, you will just be horrible. Nobody starts casting that they're the best already. Like, even those who are proficient in public speaking will still have a weird ass first cast most of the time, or almost always, because casting is a different type of public speaking. It still has a certain way of how you do it, and through experience you'll just be able to refine your blade of casting, if that, yeah, if that's a good analogy for it. So, all right, to give you a little bit of example, because I've been muttering on too much about this, I'm going to show you something that possibly only people who have been hardcore fans of me and my generation of casters with the Garena casters, Riku, Amplifier, Neep, Shinbu, and all of the other guys, we actually had a segment or a time where we had to go to Garena and apply for what they call the "Do you have what it takes to be a shoutcaster?" And this was my clip that I gave to Garena, and I'm just gonna show it to you guys real quick. Maybe just 2 to 3 minutes of it. It's a 5-minute clip, and after that, I'll show you a clip that I have done casting, maybe from a year ago, or the most recent one, maybe Arena of Valor, so we'll see about that. Anyways, I'm just gonna show it to you guys real quick, and just think of it as a learning experience, not like it's not like something to laugh at, please, guys. We are mature here. So again, this is just for me showing you guys that this is what I had to start with when I was casting and whatnot. Hang on, where is it? There you go. All right, so this is it. You can check it out on YouTube. It's just I think "Do You Have What It Takes to Be a Shoutcaster" by Darwell Yarena, which is my name. So this is basically what I started with when I casted, when I gave my initials to casting. So we start off with the blue team being under 9k gold compared to the purple team. Alright, so as you can see, the red team is now just clearing out the waves from top, bottom, and mid to create that monster wave. Monster wave is a tactic that most pro players do to help create the pressure of lane somewhere else, and also to get, of course, give you farm. As you can see, the Lux is warding the mid to see if there's gonna be a red their purple team push at mid, and you can see the Kazakhs and the Twitch just trying to clear out the jungle and get more resources for items. But in terms of item advantages, I think that the blue team is way up there because of the misfortunes, IE and almost into a Bloodthirster, and there's a mistake by the Blitzcrank. And you can see that the Twitch doesn't even have his Bork at the moment, only his Ghost Blade, which wouldn't do too much. And the Jace has a Brutalizer and Manamune. All right, I'll just gonna skip this to the team fight already, so you can see how horrible my team fighting play-by-play was.
Yes, this the taunt, and the wombo combo from the Misfortune, the Syndra. There's the exhaust from the Blitzcrank, the Q from Jace, and the last hit from the Glitch. And there's a nice hook by the Blitzcrank. Jeez, wow. And here's the purple team pushing in, killing the inhibitor tower, then the inhib. Okay, so what went wrong there is that blue team was a bit too overextended. They should have stayed inside the lanes rather than stay inside the vicinity of their tower rather than just trying to be outside the lanes. There we go, the Kha'Zix and the Nami is up. There we go. Kha'Zix gets blown up immediately, followed up by Nami ult. And here we go. That's nice hook by the Blitzcrank.
All right, so that's what I was talking about. Actually, all right, so this is what I meant about. Wait, is Rico in the Discord? No, okay. I was hearing snickering or something. So this is what I began with, like total stuttering, a lot of ums. You can actually I actually still do ums when I cast, but they sound a bit more solid, if that makes any sense. It doesn't feel like I actually have like a lull in my brain that I can't speak or say anything. And let's find something, if I can find a cast here of me. Gotcha. I can't find one. Just to compare. I'm gonna expound more on how I actually improved in a little bit later. Alright, so is Valor Cup here? Because that's, I think, one of the ones that I got. Maybe Arena Valor Facebook. Alright, I'm just gonna show this real quick to you guys, because I want to be able to show that, well, there is, again, that you can always improve on your shoutcasting. Like if you say that, oh, my first shoutcast is horrible, like before that, oh, why is Asurai showing this? Is he just like bragging himself towards us? No, that is not the point of this. The point of this is to show you guys that you can improve. And at the very start, oh wait, this is not Arena of Valor Philippines. And you can always improve again. Is this it? Oh my gosh, I am lost. If I can't find it, I think it's here. Oh yeah, I think this is the one. Wait, what? I'm totally lost. I don't know where it is. Anyways. Oh. Yeah, I really need to find one. At least one. Maybe a Mineski TV cast. Yeah, let's just go for a Mineski TV cast. This month. There's nothing. Where are my shoutcasts? I can't find one. Garena AOV? This one? Well, it doesn't show anything. Oh, it's this one. Oh wait, no, newest. First. Ah, there you go. Thank you. Ah, all right. Here it is. I found it. All right, so let us just like skip to a part here already.
Amazing. Anyways, Missile Dragon was not taken out by any.
Let's go to the final part already, because I think it's just where I want to finish it off. We're getting.
But what they want to avoid is are occupied here in this bot lane. This is gonna break out into a fight yet again, though. Oh my goodness, the Malik actually goes in 6-1-1. Where's your defense? They're trying to keep him alive for as long as possible, and they have dove into the base of Bloodsteel. Will you here have lost their minds? But they're winning the duel. They kicked out the one. XTD's gonna be rotating right here. Was a little bit too late. 12 minutes in, is this gonna be it? My goodness, the core is exposed. The respawn timers might not be enough. XDD is doing the best that he can. But you can see he is in a 4v1. That might be it. The ace and the core is exposed. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Your champions will new era. Holy cow, well played! After losing out on 2 major tournaments, finally third time was indeed the charm. Congratulations, Will New Era, you're gonna be our AOE.
Alright, so I'll just go back to the webcam right now. And again, that is all through experience. Being able to get all of the mistakes that you did and then just expound upon that definitely helps you out. So let's go for the next subject or the next talking point here. Wait, is he gonna? All right, so let's go to the next talking point here. All right, awesome sauce. All right, so if Rika wants to join, she can already. If you want to go into the Discord, definitely. So because the next talking point is going to be something that I think will at least give our viewers here a bit more, I guess, direction, is what type of shoutcaster are you? Because we already talked about the game knowledge. You just have to be able to read up on the game, watch the pro scene, follow the pro scene rather, watch the games, of course, learning from them and from other more experienced casters, definitely something that you can do. And of course, just continuous casting by yourself to learn from that. From seeing me from a stuttering buffoon to an okay-ish type of shoutcaster. So the next one is, what type of shoutcaster are you? So there are actually, I would say, around 3, maybe basic roles or basic types of shoutcaster. And you can go to the subclasses, but these are like the 3 that have been out there for, I think, the longest time. So we have first the play-by-play. Next is the colorcaster, and third is analyst. There is a difference from from colorcaster to analyst. I could be wrong, but again, this always confuses me. But I'm just gonna try to, I guess, explain it to a I guess a certain level. Again, if someone knows it better than me, you can explain it in the chat.
Okay, I'm listening.
All right, awesome sauce. You can, I'll ask you later something about this part. All right, so. Why are you something like that?
Go ahead.
All right, so of course, guys, if you already know, Riku's in the chat or Riku's in the Discord with me. All right. So here we go. The 3 types of shoutcasting: play-by-play. Basics of being a play-by-play caster is being able to follow the action when it happens and narrate how it goes. So there are a couple of ways that you can be a play-by-play caster. The one that is the most prevalent, and I guess the most difficult one, which kind of relies a lot on your quick scan of what is happening in the clash, is the by the second play-by-play. Again, this is not what people call it. This is what I call it, which is just gonna help me describe what that play-by-play does. So by the second play-by-play is basically a play-by-play caster who chases what is happening immediately as it does unfold. Like, for example, again, this is going to be all League of Legends because I think that's the easiest one for me to use as an example. And as you can see on the right side of the screen, right side of the screen, it's going to be League of Legends. Of course, that's the game Paradox chose. So again, for example, a Malphite goes into the clash with his unstoppable force, and then you say, "Oh, my Malphite goes in with the with initiations with the unstoppable force." You immediately go that as the clash happens, and then the next big thing that happens in your eyes in the clash, you immediately chase upon that, and then you just try to keep narrating what has happened as it is, again, unfolding in your eyes. The pros and cons of this, I think, is that for the pros of it, it's gonna sound really nice, or rather real time, because again you're just chasing it. The cons of it is if you chase it too much, you might not be able to see the more important thing happening, which I think is kind of bad, because I do this a lot of times. Even now I do by the second casting, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, so how about you, Ricky? What do you think about the by the second casting? Like, what are your thoughts?
What do you mean by the second casting? Sorry.
Like, cause okay, so you remember when, or rather when you do play-by-plays, right? You try to do as fast as you can to cast what's happening in the game. Like that's what I saw, or that's what some casters do. And what I said was the pros. I think the pros of it would be that it's one of the most entertaining ones to hear. But the cons of it is that you might try to take in everything all at the same time, and you might actually miss something more important that's happening because you kind of just try to react to what's immediately again showing in front of you.
All right, so you're describing play-by-play casting and how it's supposed to go.
No, this it's like one of the styles of play-by-play. I'm like trying to show the other styles of play-by-play.
Well, I guess it depends on what they're comfy at. I think you already mentioned what's the best approach to it. But I guess one thing, I used to be a play-by-play caster, and my approach was to start with someone who started the fight and then follow the skills in order. And then whoever ends the fight, then I end with that. So that's how I've been doing. Yeah. And most of the time, you just pay attention to the key ults that started and key ults that ended it, or whoever the star player. Because sometimes there are leagues where, or there are teams where there is already a star player, and normally you just want to keep following that story or his story. So that's also another approach. You keep an eye on the star player, and then you just follow through with that. Yeah,
definitely something. That's actually a bit better of a description of what I was doing.
Oh, what? No,
yeah, no.
I was saying a different style.
Yeah, but I think it can actually go into correlation. The other one that I have seen done by other play-by-play casters is okay. Other two things that I've seen other play-by-play casters do that I think it's gonna be easier for you guys is, one is narration style casting, wherein aside from, because there's a difference between, all right, so there are other casters who just say what's happening immediately in front of them. So for example, again, like what Rico said, that she looks at the initiation points of the fight and then the ending points of the fight. But how you say it is the difference. There's also a difference to how you say it. Again, I think I'm going too complicated into this, but I'll try to make it as simple as I can. So, for example, again, I'm just gonna say something like Malphite goes in with the unstoppable force, follows up by the Kha'Zix jumping in, leaping in, going for the kill, and that's the type of casting that kind of like you describe what is just happening in the front, right? But there's also narration style casting wherein you kind of like change up. You try to tell a story while you're casting, so you don't need to chase what's happening. You can actually just say it in a way that you're kind of like telling a story. So for example, okay, so there's gonna be the initiations coming out from the Malphite, and that's gonna be the Kha'Zix following up, allowing the Kha'Zix to actually follow up and get a burst down on this character, blah blah blah, and then team number 2 counter initiates with the Morgana Dark Binding, allowing to actually trap them with the Kha'Zix. So something along those lines. So it's gonna it just kind of sounds a little bit more of a narration rather than again saying what action-packed things are happening on the clash. I mean, it kind of sounds the same, but there's like a slight distinction between them. You know?
I think I know what you mean. You're trying to differentiate between literal casting and figurative play-by-play casting, where you get a little bit more creative with your words and try to make it more fun. Because I feel like there are certain clashes that are very you can make light of, but there are certain clashes that are very game breaking. So I guess it's one of those things that you have to have to keep an eye on when you're casting, whether is this the time where I can have fun with it, or is this the time that I should take this clash seriously because it's the blast match in the championship series or something.
Yeah, actually that's a better description again for it. Like you don't have to just follow the one style, but you can actually mix and match. But if you guys are like starting up and you don't kind of want to overwhelm yourself, you can try to pick from one of those first and then, you know, kind of develop it along the way. The other style of casting as well for play-by-plays that I have seen to be, I guess, the most efficient, effective, and it won't make you stutter is delay casting. And you remember how all of the caster, you saw the video that I showed you a while ago, guys, right? We're in Arena Valor. I'm just saying immediately what I wanted to say. There's also kind of like delay casting wherein you delay yourself by a second. I think the one who told me about this was either Shinbu or Ino or even or Amplifier or Riku. It was during our Garena days, but it's still stuck to my mind until now. Is that there's also a style of casting wherein you delay yourself by a second so that you can catch up to the fight while not trying to chase it. If that makes any sense. So, for example, again, let's go back to the scenario wherein the Malphite goes in. He goes in. You lag for a second, and then you say, okay, that's going to be the initiation from the Malphite. And what this actually gives you is the power to be able to not make yourself, again, chase what's happening. It doesn't confuse you as much, and you don't stutter as well. Especially when you're starting and casting, stuttering is such a big opponent for us. And it still happens for me, even till this day. Yeah. Okay, so the next one is gonna be color casting and analysis. An analyst, and I actually have a difficult time understanding what are the differences between these two. Because basically, if the play-by-play says all the action in the game, right, when the cast happens, he's the one who makes everything as hype as can be, or tells what is happening so that you know what these players are doing, again, real time. The next one is the color caster, which gives the meat of the cast. He or she will be the one to break the fight down, tell you what's happening in the game macro wise. Like, for example, in League of Legends, this certain hero or this certain champion gets a spike item. You can actually that's one of the color casters, like talking points, rotations, gold net worth, stuff like that. Yeah, actually, how about you? What are your thoughts on what color casters do, Riku?
Hold on, wait, I'm getting mobbed. Okay, for me, color casting is additional info, background info, history info about the players and the teams. Something that you don't see in VODs, something that you don't get from articles, something that you actually try to dig up in terms of information. For me, analysis is definitely something more on the spot, where you break it down with the fight happens or the game ends, and that's where you apply analysis.
Yeah.
For color casting, I guess it's a lot on the precast, all the preparation, the study, the research, and I feel like that's what color casting is for me. Additional stats as well before the game starts, so that people have already a good idea on how strong a certain team is or a player is. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, so I think I was a little bit, again, there is that slight distinction that kind of confuses me, but basically also the thing that color casters do is, well, the name implies already, give color to the cast, wherein they kind of like paint you a picture of what these players are. They're not just robots, they're not just people who are gods. These are players struggling to get to the top, and I think the color caster gives a lot of emphasis for that. And then analysts, of course, they're the ones who, again, somewhat like what the color caster does is they're like rappers, they break it down. or dancers. They kind of break everything down to the ones and zeros of everything. And I guess for me right now, the guy that I could give you an example is who does that the best in the Philippines for me is Midnight and Wolf. I have worked with them side by side for a long time now, and always being with them, it kind of like opens my eyes to analysis once again. But that's a different type of beast that I don't think I can handle personally. If you guys are more into the ones and zeros, the theory crafting and whatnot, analysis is definitely something that you should look forward to. Amplifier, of course, is also a pretty good analyst, but he hasn't casted in a while, so yeah, I actually forgot. But back in the day, he was really good. One of the things that he kind of like does best was to kind of understand how the teams do rotations. I think that's the thing that kind of gives it to me. And and I don't know, it's just like he kind of like, our casting kind of like completes each other. Like I do the play-by-plays and the... Oh, sorry, are you angry or something?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Continue.
Sorry. So I do the play-by-play and I guess the puns and whatnot, and he kind of does give all of the other stuff, you know. And I don't know how we actually do it, but we just kind of like mesh well. But anyways, that's what I'm talking about. Analysts are those type of people who break down everything. And all right, I guess the way that they do it is the way on how top students get their grades, which is to read and understand a lot. And that is the only, like, you cannot be an analyst if you are lazy. Like, you have to pile over hundreds and hundreds. For example, a student has to pile over hundreds and hundreds of textbooks. Analysts, they have to pile over hundreds and hundreds of games and collect stats from all of those games, which is insanely difficult for me, honestly. But they do it, and that's kind of like the crazy thing. All right, so before we get into the next part of the, I guess, what are the basics in shoutcasting, and then after this, will bring in Paradox. I'll answer some of the questions here that we have in chat. Can you? I did see something from Jopit23. I forgot what it was. I'm trying to go above it.
Is it about do you have to be really good at the game so that you can cast something like that?
Okay. All right.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. Okay. So I'll get the question from Jopet. I'll also get a question here from Cesar Edward and Vil. Talking. I guess a talking experience before we get into the next part of the show. So, all right. So Jopet's question is: do you have to be a great player to understand, or to be a really good player to understand the game? The answer to that is no. You don't have to be a great player to understand the game. Case in point was, I think, a few years ago when we were still League of Legends casters, and then we were like, you know, fanboying with the international casters who are, of course, were our idols. Monte Cristo. Again, I think this is like an example that I always go back to. Monte Cristo is a silver or gold player in League of Legends when he casted League, and he is a great analyst. So that's a case in point. But I think like there are people who like kind of like would say that, what if you're not a player of the game and you cast it? I would still say that you can still be a good caster in games that you don't play, but you have
regularly.
Yeah, for sure. You don't play regularly, but you have to play at least a little bit to get a feel of the game. But then, of course, everything else goes to studying and watching videos and whatnot. So that's also something. Like, for example, I'm gonna give myself as an example. About a month or 2 months ago, I have no idea what Arena of Valor was. Riku was the one who got into Arena of Valor casting way before I did, like months before. And I got into a cast, the Valor Cup. And I'm not sure if you guys were able to watch that, but I did get a lot of comments that it felt like I actually knew the game from the get-go. And I was telling people that I actually didn't play the game as long as other people did, but I was able to cast it because I studied a lot. I played the game a little bit just to get a feel of it, but again, studying was the most important thing. I had a lot of help from my other co-casters who were more experienced. I asked them a couple of questions and whatnot to get a bigger understanding of the game. And it's a MOBA. It's a massive online battle arena. So the experience that I have from MOBA casting through the years, even if it's a different title, still can apply to Arena of Valor. So so I'm not gonna go deep into that, but you can use all of those things that I said from the basics of shoutcasting to go to from like starting off a game to kind of like looking that you know how to do the game. Yeah, something like that. Of course, if you're gonna go to the deeper aspects again, it's gonna be difficult. But yeah, I think Vil is here as well. So hey, Vil, what's up?
Hey, what's up, guys?
I
Yeah.
have something to add.
Oh yeah, go for it.
I feel like it really depends on the game because I read Frodan has a really good article about casting, and he's a Hearthstone caster.
Yeah.
And he did mention that it's very important. I feel like it's a factor to be high ranked because it adds credibility to your name that you actually know what you're doing, plus you understand the basics, just so that to the point that, or at least advanced, you know stuff in an advanced way to the point that you've reached legend, and it adds to your it adds to your credibility and stuff like that. But again, it really depends on the scene, just as Asurai mentioned. Riv was actually silver, Monty was gold, and stuff like that. So it's just a matter of execution, I guess, on your preparation.
Because I think the way the thing that you're kind of like describing is like, for example, since you're such a high ranking player, it's obvious that you would know things that average players will not know. So that's also kind of like the reason, I guess, the thought process behind it. So Vil is here in our Discord, and he's one of the Mineski TV shoutcasters and one of my good friends. And he's been bugging in the chat about to tell us or give the story of our first international cast. You have to speak in English, man. You can't go Filipino in this one.
No worries about that.
All right, so I guess before we get into all right, so I don't know why we're gonna say this, but I guess this is for inspiration, and I guess for like
well, it's our first.
Yeah, so I guess we're just gonna
It's like magical.
give a bit of
The thing is, we don't know how to play Halo, but still.
yeah. Wait, before that, give a little bit of context of what our
That's the first thing he said.
yeah, I know, right? That's weird. Okay, so here.
Okay, I want to hear this story again. This is one.
Okay, so you start. I'm just gonna start it off, and you continue it, Vil. So me and Vil, that was around 2015. 16. Okay, we're approached.
No, 15.
15, bro. Yeah, I know.
15, yeah.
I know.
Get your story straight, guys.
We're approached. We were approached by ESL Asia, I believe, to shoutcast the qualifiers for the Halo 5 Southeast Asia, I think, regionals. The qualifiers for that. And we started casting here in the Philippines under the Mineski name because they were the ones who kind of contacted us, and they were also in hands with ESL. And then if you wanna talk about this, Vil, you can go ahead. I'm just gonna start the giveaway for the viewers out there.
Well, yeah, apparently. And the thing is, the North American people loved us. As like, when we start the stream, we're gonna go like, "Hey, what's up, Halo?" and shit.
Yeah.
It was so lovely. And after that,
Wait, what?
Oh, did he just vanish? He's just vanished.
And after that,
He vanished. What
that's the
the?
end of the story, folks. He just disappeared.
All right, so I'm actually still making the the giveaway for 250 Steam wallet code right now for you guys out there. It's gonna be 200 ticket cost, I guess. It's gonna be fine. I get anyone ticket free. I'm just gonna start it off already. So, all right. What Vil just wanted to say there is, well, our experience, because we never ever played Halo 5 when we started casting, but we wanted to cast it because FPS was starting to become something that I actually got into or fell in love with, and Halo 5 was an avenue for that. And we just kept casting, and at the end of it, we actually got an offer by ESL to be flown to Hong Kong, fully expenses paid, to cast the finals of the Halo 5 regionals of that area, which is just crazy. All right, so we have a question here from one of the viewers. I have a question. If someone signed me to shoutcast on Overwatch, is it okay to be shy or either overhyped or either not really straight on the main topic? All right, while we're waiting for Vil to get back into the Discord, if he wants to continue chatting about that, I'm gonna actually answer this with, I think, the final talking point for, because there are 4 talking points for the basics of shoutcasting. This is the final talking point actually, and I'm just gonna go into that after this third one. So I'm just gonna start it off. The third one in the basics of shoutcasting is finding your voice, and this is not like the Chip Skylark song, which is, you know, that voice song from Nickelodeon from the Fairly Odd Parents. This is legitimately something about your voice. Okay, so I'm gonna just talk first with a voice that I don't modulate properly. Like right now, what you can hear on the mic is me modulating my voice from my throat, right? And I don't actually know how to do regular throat voice anymore. I'm so used to it now. How do I do it? Oh, wait, hang on, give me a moment. Okay, so yeah, ito yung, this is my voice when I, damn it still sounds like I'm modulating it.
It's like you're voice acting instead.
Okay, so you already heard. Okay, I'm just gonna go back to the commentary a while ago because that is the best example for it. Listen to this again, okay, guys?
But she won't survive that. And there's the revenge kill from Deluxe and the Shyvana. And here comes the Blitzcrank with the knock-up hook. Very nice. He'll survive that. Yeah, there you go.
So there you go. That is basically an example of like the voice that I was talking about. When you start shoutcasting, you kind of like try a lot to talk, right? Of course you're gonna talk, but the way where you get your voice is gonna be important, because not all shoutcasters have European sexy voice or foreigner sexy voice. It's the example.
I'm sorry, that made me laugh. I don't know why. All right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. It makes perfect sense. But because like I know that for a lot of foreigners have really great voices, even if they don't try. But that doesn't mean that if you have a squeaky ass voice that you can't improve upon it. I had a horrible high pitched tone. Riku had a horrible, high pitched tone, and she sounded like a shrill girl when she was casting. Like when she did, when she did play by play before, and she was like, "Oh my god!" it was basically something like that, where it was so high pitched that you would kind of like have to take off your headset. But we started modulating our voice, and the way that we did that is rather than taking the voice from your throat, you take it from your diaphragm. And I know it sounds weird, and I don't know how I do it so automatically now. I think it's just because of how many times I have been casting, and it just like snaps like that. But when you start casting, guys, you try to modulate your voice first, it's gonna be difficult because like your regular speaking voice is just you speaking through your throat, and once you start broadcasting, once you start getting into casting, this type of voice, you can actually have something like this once you modulate it, and that's very important. Yeah, people say that you have to go for singing lessons and whatnot. I think that's also fun, pretty good. So yeah, if you guys want to hear live what we're talking about, if you're like having connections, you can go to the Discord channel right now. I ask you guys to not talk on the Discord because this is going to be recorded. I want this to be uploaded later on my YouTubes, just so that if someone wants to listen to it, they can. What if you have a natural deep voice? No need to modulate it.
That's beautiful. You're lucky.
Yeah, you think you're a lucky bastard. And yeah, there are a couple of people that I know that have these type of voices that I know personally. Both of them actually have the name Marco.
Marco, yeah, Atlas and Tiger Poet.
They're casters from Garena, and you can actually listen to their voices when they cast. You can just check the VODs out. And these guys already have the ticket to the dream, but I think they still have to modulate their voice to a certain extent so that they don't wear their themselves out. But still, yeah, they're pretty, pretty lucky to have that. But of course, I'm not saying that that's the only thing. They are actually pretty good casters, even without it. So yeah. Okay, so the next one, again, this is to answer the question of Thana Abimari, is, again, if someone signed you to shoutcast on Overwatch, is it okay to be shy or either overhype or either not really straight on the main topic? So I hope this is the answer that you're looking for, and my answer to that is in your personality. A shoutcast isn't just a person talking about the game. It's also a person talking about the game while at the same time injecting themselves in the cast. Case in point is, if you hear me cast, you would have in some point cringed. Like your face would have done something like this. I don't know if people can see that I'm pretty sure people will see that in the stream. Rico wouldn't, but I think she already has a cringe face whenever she looks at me. So yeah.
Yes.
She knows about that. And the thing that I'm saying here is that whatever type of cast you get into, never try to be something that you're not in the cast. Just be yourself. If you're shy and you want to cast, then actually that's kind of weird to do. That's actually pretty bad. Okay, something before that. Okay, so if you're like a funny guy, if you're into puns like me, and you want to add that to the cast, why not, right? I actually can't think off the top of my head what's a good cast. Like for example, if you start casting Overwatch, you see something like this. Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Overwatch cast. It's gonna be over the top, not under. That's why it's called Overwatch, not Underwatch. Something like that, right? And see, there you go. That's the cringe voice that I always hear from Riku. So something like that. You inject yourself into the cast. Being shy, I don't know if that's like a casting personality, but I think being shy in casting is not gonna be the most optimal. You can try to do it, but people, or rather you yourself, will definitely like your casting better when you can actually just keep on relaying yourself, your true self.
Can I add to that?
Yeah, go for it.
Because there are people that what you see is what you get, right? But there are people that actually have a camera personality. They have a different character that they channel with, so that they feel like they're most effective with that character and becoming that character. So if ever you're the type that's shy, then perhaps that you could break free by being someone that's still you, but at the same time very different from your usual self. So developing a character is also something that you could do. Yeah,
definitely. So it's either something like that, which I think I also have done before, because I think, I don't know if this is like a a good example, but there was a point wherein, wait, I saw some chat a while ago. Wait, okay. So there was a point before wherein I told myself that I would never get into Tagalog casting, Filipino casting. That was when I was still at Garena casting for them for League of Legends. But then when I got into Mineski, and a lot of the people there, if not all of the people, are all Tagalog casters, it was such a bad clash of I understood Tagalog, but when I replied in English, and it was just a horrible. It wasn't horrible, but it was just a weird exchange of caster banter, of caster talk, and I think I developed a kind of like mindset that you have to be adaptable. Like, I was just stubborn. The reason why I didn't want to start Tagalog casting, but I accepted it. I thought to myself that if I wanted to go to the next level of casting, or at least if I wanted to be more approachable as well to my co-casters, I would want to be at least, you know, on the same wavelength as them. And I just wanted to be, I just wanted to do something like that. Is Taglish in shoutcasting a sin?
No.
No, definitely not.
Depende. I mean, it depends on what the production needs. Sometimes you have all English cast. Sometimes you have the freedom to do Taglish. So you just have to ask as well the producers what kind of tone they want. Do they want it super serious? Do they want it fun? So it really depends on the needs of the broadcast or the tournament.
All right. Yeah, definitely. Okay, I'm gonna answer this question from Hey Rhea. What are the things we need to focus on when studying a game? Whew. All right.
Wait, in what perspective? Because it depends. Like, for example, if you're already established in the league, then that's also that's a different answer. Or if you're just starting with the game, then that's also a different set of answers.
I think the best one would be to just if the scenario was if we were just starting to cast.
You go first then.
All right, so I guess we can. What is a good example for that? All right, so I think the best example for me is me talking about how we got into Halo casting, me and Vil.
All right, I like this story.
Yeah. Well, just how we actually studied up for that. Halo 5, when I think how we got started in that was we got a copy of Halo 5. We actually also had Xbox Ones that were lent to us for, I think, the duration of the cast, and we just kept on playing just to understand the game first. And I think that's the biggest thing. Like we were talking about a while ago, that you don't need to be able to play the game for a long time, but being able to play the game initially first allows you to get a feel of what the game is in its core aspect. Like Halo 5 is for example, you know it is an FPS shooter, but what type of FPS shooter is it? It's an FPS shooter that's pretty hectic. You got yourselves weapons and armor that you can use, and you can read upon that, and you can watch upon that, but being able to feel it kind of gives you a bit more of a deeper understanding to it. And okay, the next one, it's kind of like I'm kind of a little bit lost with this, but I'm trying to compound my to kind of arrange my thoughts. And
you want me to...
yeah, you can give your sentiments first.
Okay, so I guess in the perspective of starting in a game. Fuck my cat. Sorry, wait. Sorry, that's not a tip.
Yeah.
Okay. If we're okay, I'm gonna share one of the things that I do. So I immediately, when I'm entering a game, I immediately, of course, play the game just as Asurai suggested. Then I study the current meta.
Yeah.
And then, actually, there's a certain order at what I do, because it depends on the tournament. Then yet you have the region's already involved, or you're already aware what you're gonna cast, right? So I look at the teams, I study their VODs, I look at the heroes, then I prioritize what heroes or champions they're using. Because if you're gonna be casting a MOBA, it's insane for you to study each, I don't know, 50 plus or 100 heroes or characters, so that you could maximize your time. You study the meta, you study what the teams usually play, and then you can identify two things or more than two things, which is what the trend is in their region, plus the play style of that region, plus the play style of a certain player or a team, and you can see a pattern. So VOD studying is a very, very huge thing that where you can immediately establish or identify what the current trends are for that current season and region. And after that, a little bit of polishing, studying on the teams. One of the problems that you encounter as a caster is that sometimes information are not available in the internet. Some scenes don't have statistics, some scenes don't have articles backed up, some scenes don't have as much as content being uploaded in the internet. So what you do is you try to get contact of the teams directly, and then you interview them and see what their perspective is. What do you think? What do they think of the meta? What do they think about their enemies and stuff like that? And you'll be surprised about. I mean, sometimes you get teams that probably don't want to talk, but most of the teams that I've spoke with are very welcoming and very accommodating when sharing information. And of course, they trust you with that information. So yeah, that includes strategies and stuff like that. So you know what to do with them. Yeah.
So in short, the way for you to start off with a new game is, again, to see first what the teams use, because those are the things that will be regularly be utilized by these teams. Something lower in the meta definitely won't be as much, so you don't have to study immediately on that, but you have to still, because you have to understand if it ever gets picked up. And then, of course, when you're lacking in stats, you have to ask the teams. But here's the good thing. If you're not lacking in stats, for example, League of Legends and Dota 2 has possibly the craziest amount of information in the internet. You can just keep on reading a lot of stuff. And yeah, it'll help out, you know. Again, preparation, I think, is the way to go into the game. Yeah. Okay, so next stop here is how to get a gig in shoutcasting. That is, well, I actually put that as a talking point because I think there's a lot of people who want to get into shoutcasting but don't really know how to get started. But I'm pretty sure some people already know. Shoutcaster calls are one thing, wherein when a company asks for shoutcasters, you immediately register for that, and then of course create your own casting kind of how do I call this, casting channel, which I think Yasumeow does. If you guys don't know her, you can check her out. Yasu, YASUMEOW. She does her own casting channel for Dota 2 as well. So something along those lines. Yeah, and here's the thing again. The reason why I wanted to do something like this is just to get people started on what they need to go for shoutcasting, because there have been like some shoutcaster calls wherein, for example, 20 people register and only 2 or 3 barely get in, and I think it's just because they don't know what they should start, you know, to go in for the casting. Anyways, don't forget about from Victoria 300 here. He was telling about, don't forget the preparation about Overwatch with a lot of strategies that teams will do on that certain team. Yeah, of course, but that is for more, I think, on the the team versus team. But yeah, definitely something that I think is a good tip. I think it's an advanced tip. Yeah. Okay, so here's another thing. that is very important. I think before we do ask in Paradox, because I think we're already done with the first talking points, is what do you do to stop yourself from cussing? From cursing. Yeah, a little bit of a giggle there. With the start of shoutcasting, I call it practice, right? It's also practice that you practice yourself not to curse. And like what Qui-Gon has said to Anakin Skywalker, be mindful of the Force, young Skywalker. It's something like this. Be mindful of the curse, young shoutcaster. Because, holy heck, if you curse on stream, it's not only you who gets in trouble, but the future of your casting as well could be in jeopardy because of that. Because sometimes people don't really like to hear cursing. Definitely not something you want to get into. But there are cases wherein casters curse a lot. FGC casting, I think, has a lot of cursing, but I think that's just because of how the community really accepts it, because that's just their culture. But in most cases, just try to be mindful of casting. Although I do have to also say that there will be at least one certain point, or at least a few certain points in your career of casting that you will curse. And these points are probably the hypest point of those casts, of the tournament maybe that you're casting. And again, I have done it before. Some people have done it before. It's not the prettiest every time, but sometimes it's just right. But again, as much as possible, be mindful, and you'll actually just keep yourself. It'll be automatic once you kind of like set yourself to stop cursing from the first time, and then the follow-ups will just become more and more and more and more that you'll stop cursing. All right, so for this one, we're gonna call in Paradox if he is already in the Discord. All right, I'm just gonna message him first so he can.
Hello.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
Paradox.
Hi, Riku.
Here you go, man. All right,
Hi,
so do you have any questions to start off? So at least, since I kind of like tried to cover the basics, but maybe there's still something that bugs your mind with shoutcasting.
For a shoutcaster, what do you think is the most easiest or role for a beginner shoutcaster? Like, is it an analyst or caller or play-by-play?
Well, I guess for me, the easiest one would be play-by-play, just because it's gonna be you trying to, again, talk about, or at least kind of narrate what's happening on the field. But for example, if you're already into really involved with the game and understand what's happening with the game and even the teams, and you decided to be a shoutcaster, you could actually be even more comfortable with being an analyst. So I guess it's just from how you begin. But I think most beginners would probably be going for play-by-play first, because I think that's the default. So yeah.
Okay. I have no question.
All right. So, okay. I have a question for you, since League of Legends is the game that you chose, right?
Yeah.
What do you think happens when you start a league game? I mean, when you start casting a league game, what do you think are the talking points when you shoutcast that? Like, I just wanna think what you know, so that I can maybe give you a tip before we start into casting the game.
Usually I do practice a lot, but I don't record it. But sometimes I start within the champion select, wherein there are specific teams which ban these certain type of champions, such as SKT doing some kind of strategy, or they do want something that basically something which is on the meta, yung parang ginagawa nila kung anong nasa meta. Yun yung tinitignan ko. First is yung sa Champion Select, then yun nga, yung mga players after ng Champion Select, kung paano ba sila magpe-perform, kung na-ban ba yung mga comfort picks nila, and then yun.
Alright, I see. Yeah. Alright, so after that, after the drafting, once you get into, the Summoner's Rift, what's your how do you, if you've started practice shoutcasting, what do you start talking about agad when the game starts?
Usually yung parang run or call, yung parang for the blue side we have DSM or something.
Yeah, the rundown, of course. Yeah,
rundown. And
okay.
Then what are the win conditions for this team and the
yeah. All right, so that's actually pretty good. Like, win conditions, definitely a huge factor in MOBAs because you have to understand how you're supposed to play the comp, before.
And then after they did the win condition first, then what do they do next? Do they go for something like pressure on bot lane so that they can get the Infernals or Dragons, or more vision for the referral so that they can rotate on mid or top? Basically, I am a little bit okay with color, but I am choking a little bit in play-by-play, so that I was asking you if what was easier, if it was play-by-play or color or analyst.
Yeah, but I think it's just more of like what you feel is more comfortable for you. Like, I'll just say that play-by-play is gonna be the default. Maybe more comfortable because it's the easy. Again, for me, it's the easiest. But yeah, so like from what I'm hearing, you're saying it sounds like you actually have a pretty good grasp of being able to shoutcast in a game. So I think we're kind of ready. Did you try out to see if the replay works? Does it work?
I did try. It did load.
Nice, awesome. All right, so we're gonna be shoutcasting a game. So here's how it's gonna go. You'll load it first, but pause it, and then I'm gonna count down so that we can start the game. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then just use directed camera. Since it's League of Legends, it should work pretty easy. And
we're still going to go for the pick and ban and everything.
I don't think there's a pick and ban though in the replay I gave you. So yeah.
Are we going to pause the game first?
For pick and ban?
Yeah.
Damn. Oh, you're right. Okay, so after we cast the game, I'll find first a video for us to talk that has a pick and ban. Maybe like a pro game, and then we'll just talk about that. Although, please excuse me because I don't know yet. I don't know the current meta of League of Legends, so I could be bad at this. But since you're more in tune with the recent meta, you can actually teach me a few things. All right.
I was actually reading the meta while you were, or the patch notes while you were talking about the game earlier.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. All right. So, what's your fierce? Okay. Before that, pala, what is your default language for casting? At least so I can adjust.
I'm a little bit comfortable with Tagalog. I can do English, but
we can go Tagalog. We can go Tagalog.
Yeah, yun na lang siguro.
Sige. It's alright, man. Okay. So we're gonna.
You can go English if you want.
Yeah, no. Okay lang. Mag-adjust ako para sa'yo. Nagana lang. I just started going for English because again, it's my more comfortable language. Pero marunong naman ako mag-Tagalog casting then. So. How this is gonna go is load up the game muna and then pause it first. Then I'll count down so that we can watch it together.
Yeah.
All right. So
I'm already in the game. I paused it. So.
Okay, perfect. So wait lang. I'll just set it up then so that the chat can see, the viewers can see. All right. So what do you want to take the role as for now? Are you gonna go play by play or color caster?
I'll go color. I'd guess, since it's my sweet spot.
Okay.
I'm not really comfortable yet with my play-by-play, but eventually, I think with practice and everything.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, give me a moment. I'm just fixing the the overlays here.
Since that you're not updated yet with the meta. I think that this was the Xayah meta. If I'm correct.
Okay. Awesome sauce. Hang on. So, hang on. Alright, so what's gonna happen here pala, before anything else, is hayaan ko lang muna tayo mag-cast. Maybe we can cast until... Let's not cast the whole game kasi I think masyado siyang matagal. It's 40 minutes long. Maybe we can cast until 20 minutes lang or 15 minutes. And then after that, I'll give you some tips on what you can at least improve on.
Okay.
Alright, so hopefully okay din yung ano ko. Just go and direct the camera. So I'll count down now for us. Hang on lang. Alright, so again guys, in the chat right now, this is more of just, again, like a how do I say this? Like, you're trying to get your feet wet in casting, because a lot of the people who go to cast shoutcaster calls have not really had enough practice for shoutcasting. So I think like this is gonna be at least something that you can, you know, use for that. Anyways, all right, I'm gonna count shoutouts today. I'm gonna count down na para sa atin. So 3, 2, 1, play. All right, remember, directed camera lang tayo ngayon.
Okay.
All right guys, so ladies, mga kaibigan natin ngayon sa ating gabi, salamat sa inyong pagsama sa amin at magsimula na ating best of 1 series dito sa Summer's Rift match. And papalaman natin ang blue team. Ako magsisimula. Riven as Noisy as the Riven, Freeskins 123 as the Jack Sumalbag as the Akali, Asurai PH with the Xayah, and Amplifier as the Rakan.
And for the red side, we have the top lane Rise. It's Watari, and on the jungle we have Jay Skyride on that Jarvan, and on the mid lane we have Syndra, Jaymu, and of course the bot duo Final Spark 404 and Revenge Pro on that Vayne and Soraka respectively.
Alright, so tutunin ko muna. Sige, go lang. Okay.
So what are your thoughts on the picks and bans or picks for the team here?
Alright, so para sa akin, I kinda like better the composition dito for bottom lane matchup. I do like the composition of the Xayah and Rakan. Kasi yung parang nakikita ko matchups before is that Soraka is pretty good nga sa diba? Sa pagbigay ng sustain, pero pag balagbog na sa niya yung mga skirmishes, kind of lacks luster since wala siyang crowd control compared to Rakan. Mid lane matchup, I'm kind of thinking more for the Akali just because kaya niyang i-sidestep yung ng Syndra, and then she has the sustain then in the lane. Not sure about the top lane matchup, but what do you think?
I think the top lane matchup will be about the range, since Riven can trade with Rise, but when it comes to micro such as CSing and of course the skills, Rise has the poke to damage Riven. So yun. Plus I wanted to add on the bot lane, since na Xayah and Rakan siya, we also have that passive since duo nga sila. If Xayah will level up the second skill agad, then eventually there will be a speed buff if attack speed buff, since yun yung passive nila Rakan and Xayah.
Yeah.
So it means medyo mas magiging magandang early game nila.
Definitely.
Plus, compared dito sa Vayne and Soraka. But as we can see, mukhang medyo naaano dito si Asurai against this Vayne, but let's see.
It's gonna be alright, pero hindi pala siya makakatakas. Even through, nagamit niya ni flash saka heal niya. Too much damage coming out from Final Spark. Nagamit na rin ni Amplifier dun yung kanya Ignite. So, next up dun sa kanilang bottom lane matchup, walang heal dito si Asurai, pati Ignite. So, medyo maghihina yung kanilang damage output. Pero, I mean, Revenge Pro naman on the Soraka. Already using heal niya, pati naman din yung Vayne with the barrier.
So, yun nga, nakakuha ng first blood ang Vayne dito. So, that will be helpful against Asurai here in the laning phase. Yun nga, so basically, pag dominating ang Xayah when it comes to early game and mid game. Pero when it comes to late game, alam natin na ang Vayne sobrang hyper carry niya. Sobrang, it can shred tanks, as we all know it, dahil nga late game champion siya.
Yeah.
And if Asurai keeps on dying onto this bot lane, probably Vayne might snowball that bot lane, and the red side can use that for their winning advantage.
Definitely, pero titigilan mo natin dito pare kasi kung simula na ang engagement sa ating Jarvan. Skyride, nag-flash away siya agad. Heals come out from Revenge Pro just to keep his comrade alive. Nandito na si Amplifier to actually give some support ngayon, and they will collapse kay Amplifier trying to run away. Uses the flash, and here is the stun from Freeskins to just give a little bit of support for his comrade as well. They're trying to go for the escape dito kaibigan, pero hindi sila makakatakas pa rin Paradox as 4-man invade ang ginawa ngayon ng red side team. Grabe.
Yung flash dun sa Vayne, I don't think that was needed, but sure, para lang ma-ensure yung kill. And Jarvan already rotating to the enemy jungle here. But talagang para ano nila yung win condition nila, since as we can see there, meron ding vision ng red side team, deep vision on that red side.
Yeah.
So that was a nice response for the red side team and as well for Amplifier, pero medyo nagkaroon ng onting paggamit.
Oh, able to use yung mga feather power dito ni Asurai. Gets a kill sa Vayne. Medyo nag-overextend siya. Alam ko na siguro nag-feel na ng Vayne confident na siya. Siyempre, 2 kills na sila. Nakakusa na ng tons of vision sa jungle, pero wala pa rin. Speaking of which nga lang pala, parang Paradox, nakita mo din kung gaano ka proactive itong Jarvan na to sa pag-counter invade. Pero I say that, Asurai PH getting the kill onto the Soraka sa bottom lane.
Just as we've said, yun nga, meron ngang additional buffs si Xayah dito mula kay Rakan kasi nga couple buffs, alam na natin yun. Meron siyang extra damage from Rakan since nga dun sa passive, and that crit or that can be one of the key points here noong saan si Xayah ay pwedeng i-turn around yung kung ano nangyayari sa bot lane. But let's see here.
Alright, Dragon has already spawned mga viewers namin dyan. And for the meantime, 6 minutes into the game, wala pa masyadong kills, 2 for 2 lang naman. But there could be an initiate dito sa ating si GD God. 3-man collapse from the mid, pero hindi nag-follow up dito. Level 5 pa lang naman ating Akali, so wala pa siyang dash in. Medyo out of range din yung Jax doon to actually go with the counter strike, so hindi siya makakuha ng initiations. And Rakan, syempre, masyado ding malayo para doon. So, ang tanong ko lang pala sa'yo, parang Paradox, as this game progresses din pala, aside dun sa Vayne, lalo na sa late game, siguro lang muna, pag nagkaroon tayo ng mga level 6 spikes natin, sino ang kailangan natin tignan dito na para mag-make ng plays?
I think for the red side team, it would be Jarvan, since nakikita na nga natin na gumagawa na siya ng proactive plays. Gumagawa na nga siya ng proactive plays sa mid and of course sa bot para ma-snowball na agad yung Vayne nila. But let's see here, Riven will be a little bit low.
Yeah, tatakbo siya ngayon, pero sabi na nga, proactive plays from the Jarvan. Medyo fancy footwork dito sa Riven using the red bulb there para ma-blast off siya dun sa ating Baron Nashor pit. Sumalbag is gonna be here as the Vanguard just to keep the Noisy alive, yung Riven nga natin. Counter strike from Freeskin, medyo misplaced para sa kanya doon. Wala na siyang pang-counter dito ngayon as Skyride trying to chase down onto the Akali. Bottom side naman, root connection onto this Vayne, trying to run away as he tumbles away from Amplifier, initiating with the Rakan. Good use onto the shield, pero that will be a barrier burnt. So medyo nag-overextend na masyado ngayon ng red side natin.
Ba't gano'n? Nagbenta si Vayne ng item niya. Kanina meron siyang zeal, ngayon naging na lang, boots na lang and everything. And as we can see, Xayah already has the BF sword. Pero balik nga tayo dun sa point kanina. Sa tingin ko, the people who can or who may have a role in this game is actually, for the red side team, is Jarvan and Rice for that TP and that realm warp, so they can realm warp in like objectives in the map such as Referral or Dragon or Baron in the late game. For the blue side team, we have the combo, or we have Rakan and Jax to initiate, and as well as Riven. But the key point for the blue side team here is the initiations of Amplifier. Every initiation should hit, and that will be an execute here for Akali. What a nice outplay there.
Yeah, actually, it didn't see like an outplay. Yun na yung parang sinasabi mo kanina na, sinasabi natin kanina na parang once Akali gets her level 6, medyo mahihirapan na yung Syndra makatakas. I mean, that's what, triple dash ata? Double dash? And Syndra, Only has her flash if ever. Oh.
Yeah. And ngayon, as we can see, the blue side team is already investing in vision onto this Cloud Drake. So that, yun nga, makakakuha sila ng extra movement speed para makarotate to the map. Para, yun nga. And, yun nga, balik nga tayo dun sa point na if Amplifier hits all of his CCs and everything that his team needs to do, or his team needs para ma-execute yung enemy team, then the game could probably go to their side.
Yeah. What I'm liking about yung matchup pala natin ngayon is, aside sa sabi mo, parang ang nagiging ano kasi ngayon is, di ba, meron 3 lanes tayo, and 2 of those lanes are actually sa blue side team. And alam naman natin, quick maths tayo, that when you actually have 2 lanes of winning naman, you have a better chance of at least getting the objectives. Pero teka lang muna, magsisimula ng engagement ngayon si Skyrai with the Jarvan. He is activated from Asurai ngayon, and this could be deadly para sa kanya. The Jax is right there, going into the sidelines, actually leaping in to Amplifier, and this is not gonna be good, as Freeskin should be cannon fodder na ngayon para sa red side team. Isa pang hataw na lang, and that should be a dead Jax. Goes down. Double man root from Asurai, gets a rampage, could go for a double kill, and grabe naman ito, isa pa triple kill. Actually, never mind, double kill lang pala si Amplifier. Ang kumuna isa, kill secured, not kill steal. Ano naman na yun?
Wow, what an outplay! Wala dito sa ating bot lane. God, man, that Cataclysm should have been the end of the bot lane duo, pero yun nga, hindi sila na-execute there. I think that was a little bit of an overstay, pero sure, it already happened. But yun nga, as we can see, both of the teams are already putting parang kumbaga nagbibigay na sila ng attention dito sa bot lane, dahil nga alam natin na kung kanino man ADC ang mas mag-snowball, yun yung probably magkakaroon ng upper hands sa game na to. And so nakikita natin dito 5-1 in favor of the blue side team. Xayah has already 5 kills, and she's nearly going to build that Essence Reaper.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, lots of props dito sa bottom lane, saka sa mid na nakita mo naman si Sumalbag with that Akali, sobrang tindi niyang makipag 2v1 doon. Walang magawa yung Jarvan. I mean, he has yung knock-up niya with the EQ combo ba? Pero at the end of the day, parang kulang lang siya. There's gonna be initiation sa bottom lane. Could be a dead vein here, pero walang hindi mangyayari yun. Hataw na naman tayo dito lang. Gary Valenciano, hataw lang. And Sumalbag gets a kill dun sa Syndra. Wow.
So ito na nga, yung mga power spike, since nakakakuha na sila ng kills. 2-0 for the mid and as well as the bottom lane 5-1 nga. Let's see here, the bottom duo is already sieging the first turret of the bot side. Amplifier did poke the Soraka there, but what a nice combo there for Asurai to execute the support of the red side team. What a nice clean, sobrang clean, man. Galing.
Hindi ko alam kung sino yung player niya, pero okay yung laban niya eh. Anyway, it's gonna be initiation sa ating top side. Death combo from the Riven, as Freeskins naman ngayon ang magiging tagapag-end ng laban na ito. Flash and Root Prison away from Noisy, pero gusto talaga niya makipaghatawan. Could be a 1-for-1 trade, yes, as the tower gets that last hit. And this is a little bit of concern para sa akin, parang Paradox, na yung Ryze, he actually has a pretty sizable lead against the Riven ngayon. If you see yung net worth niya, 3,800 to the 3,200 the Riven, pero he's not using yung kanyang teleport or ultimate to actually make plays around the map, which is, I think, greedy if you think about it, no?
Tsaka one point here is actually Riven already knew that she is already losing to Ryze, and yet she's not building or magic resist for this Ryze. Something like, or siguro dahil nga sa mga Riven players kailangan nila ng mga cooldown. But I think you are already losing the lane, you should build defensively, then let your jungler or your team carry you to the late game and do flashy plays on that.
Yeah.
Pero yun nga, balik tayo sa Ryze, he doesn't use his TP or Realm Warp for objectives such as we can see in the map, Rift Herald, so that yung jungler and yung top lane para makuha ng referral, and of course the top lane turret there para yun nga makakuha sila ng first turret gold, kasi nakakatulong din naman yun and let Ryze snowball more
Yeah. I mean, Jarvan sa simula sobrang ganda ng ano niya, pero at the end of the day, you would need someone with more firepower para maano eh. And since the Syndra and the Vayne not really add to that power point, tignan mo naman yung damage coming out from this Akali. I think it has to be, with that rise na magkaroon tayo ng ano. Kamali medyo dito ng place sila as nakita mo na huli dun yung Cataclysm sa Vayne, pero still able to get it as Watari actually responds to his comrade.
Yeah, I think the red side team should go for the referral here since na medyo magba-back out ng blue side team here. Pero nakakuha ng first turret here ang red side or ang blue side team rather, at makakatulong ito ngayon dun sa bot lane duo na already na meron ng Essence River and of course that Berserker's Greaves. And dun tayo kay Xayah. At this meta, I think Xayah had a very strong point wherein if you build Ardent Sensor, sobrang bilis ng attack speed niya. And of course, coming with that crit from that Essence River. Pero tignan natin tong teamfight sa top.
Mukhang nakatakas na dun si Rice using yung kanyang Realm Warp, like you said. We able to escape that one, but the defensive Realm Warp definitely hindi kinakailangan din ng ating red side team. Double man taunt in gamit yung ultimate ng Rakan dito, pero sa top lane ang magiging mas ma-action na labanan as nahuli na naman once again yung Riven. Freeskins 1-2-3 trying to run away, gets the dodge from the Q ni Watari. And yeah, so he should be able to escape this one. Si Skyride not having enough mana shouldn't really be able to make anything happen. So like you said, yun na, nagsisimula na yung power spike ng ating Xayah, and this lack of itemization from the Vayne really biting her in the butt nga ba? Parang paradox.
Pero wait, si Akali mukhang nandito, tignan natin kung susubukan nilang labanan tong Jarvan.
Jarvan is getting unnecessary damage from the tower. Sobrang pinapalambot niya sarili niya para ma-initiate siya agad dito na Akali. Definitely not what he wants to happen. Ooh, Cataclysm sa mukha! Did not expect na yun ang gagawin niya, pero he's just one shot away. And grabe si Akali. Yun lang. Zap lang yung kalaban niya. Easy.
Yeah, I think that was a very greedy play here from this Jarvan. Dapat hindi na lang niya ginawa yun since Akali is not the person that you want to snowball this game. Sobrang sakit niya, and nobody on the red side team is building magic resist to counter this Akali. I mean, it's too early in the game to build magic resist, pero when it comes to a 7-1 Akali, I think you should build.
Yeah. Definitely something na kailangan matandaan nila ng mga players natin. Pag naglalaro kayo guys, don't forget na hindi lang core items yung kailangan yung gawin. Kailangan nyo rin mag-defensive items, lalo na pag nakukulangan kayo sa damage against sa isang kalaban. Inakala ni Watari na kakayanin niya, pero nangyari si Watari. GG. Oh no.
Nawasaki si Watari doon sa top lane. But let's see here, the mid lane is already getting sieged here by the top laner and the support of the blue side team. Pero nakikita nga natin nagpa-farm mag-isa dun si Vayne sa bot lane kanina so that she can catch up to this Xayah. Pero sa tingin ko napakalaki na ng gold lead against the carries of the blue side team compared to the red side team. 0-5 on this Syndra, not a good standing to be honest. And of course para dito sa Vayne 3-4, not the bestest of worlds, pero tignan natin to sa mid.
Alright. So I think that's that's good muna for now. Yeah. Alright, so you can pause the game now, my friend.
Okay.
Alright, so I can give you a little bit kung ano yung I think about that one. Honestly, that was pretty good already, man. Kasi parang yung kinakatakot ko kasi kanina, I'm gonna try to talk back into English again. What I was fearing a while ago is you might not have enough things to say, like, cause that's one of the things that you have to always take as a caster, especially as a color caster, is that you might lose or have like dead air lots of the times when you start casting. But when we were going for that trial one, you never missed something, and actually that was the things what I kind of wanted to say to aspiring casters, that they should always have something to say that is meaningful, and looks like parang you have that in the bag na, Okay. I think one of the improvements that you can do is to sound a bit more decisive, because I know that there are points that parang you can actually make it sound na you don't know, or parang you're not sure about the thing. For example, like this, not sure kung kakayanin niya yung match na yun, but we'll just have to see na lang kung ano. But yung parang, I feel like again, man, this is just me giving you pointers lang naman. I think okay yung color casting mo. But you have to have more parang solidity sa pagsabi mo. Parang you have to like paano ba sabihin to? Wag kang maging masyadong timid sa sa pag-relay mo ng information. But I think that's just hindi ka pa lang ganun kasanay sa podcast. But aside from that, I really liked everything. I guess the other things na lang that you can improve on, pumiyak bata ako dun, is ano ba? Not focus only on the one thing. Kasi I think since naka-directed camera tayo, I think we were focusing too much dun sa bottom lane. But you have to also talk about yung mid lane matchup and yung top lane matchups. Don't always forget about that. Kahit man you have the knowledge for a lot of things sa league, you also have to know that you have to give enough time for every single aspect of the game, be it mid or top. But yeah.
One question pala. How do you find the words to like different situations?
What do you mean? Can you give me an example?
Kasi minsan when I do play-by-play or color casting,
yes,
I usually katulad nga ngayon, I don't know what words to use or parang nauubusan ako ng words. Like, it gets a little bit repetitive.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Kasi, yun yung parang nagiging sakit din, or, sorry, that's also what the sickness is of other casters is. For example, the word that you're using is, what's the word for it? Initiate. You always say initiate, but you don't know another word to use. Is that what you were saying ba?
Most of the time, pag play-by-play or, pag color casting, as we can see, yun yung mas lagi kong
okay, so you have a comfort word. That's what we call in shoutcasting our comfort word or comfort phrase. It's fine, totally fine na mayroon kang comfort word or comfort phrase, but you already have you already started the process to parang get away from that, which is that you're doing it. The biggest thing kasi is that if you don't know you're doing it, you'll always keep repeating that type of comfort phrase over and over again. So, ngayon na alam mo na yun yung nangyari, you can start parang being aware na wag mong sabihin yun palagi.
Okay.
And the other way then na siguro parang hindi ka mawalan ng sasabihin is to find a thesaurus, or I guess think of a way that you can say it in a different style. And again, a thesaurus is definitely something na parang nakatulong sa akin before, or at least sa iba din. Kasi for example,
like kung alimbawa sa Mineske TV, yung parang pichulo, yung parang ganun.
Parang ganun din. That's also something din na pwede na pinasikat nila man siyempre sa kanila Boss Lon. Yung parang ganung klaseng style. Pero yung sa akin naman is kung ayaw mong bumalik palagi sa sasabihin mo na word na yon. For example, as you can see here, parang ganun, 'di ba? You can look for a thesaurus nga and kind of like form another sentence that has the same meaning but has a different is differently constructed. Kasi parang at least if you say it in a different sense like that, hindi siya magiging parang broken record na paulit-ulit mo sinasabi, 'di ba? Kasi kahit ako palagi yung ginagawa yun, pero once I hear it, once alam ko na inulit ko siya, parang for example, ito nga, as you can see here, pero now, it's, paano ba yung ko dito? As you can see here, what's happening in front of us, ano pa ba? It's now commencing here, parang gumagano kasing bagay, di ba? Simple things lang that can kind of have the same impact na yung gusto mo sabihin, pero iba yung pananalita, yung way of saying mo. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yun lang yung questions ko so far.
Alright. So para sa akin, I really like your casting, man. Obviously, syempre parang medyo I can feel you're nervous pa dun eh.
Ayan.
Yeah, pero aside from that, I think na-pressure ka lang na onte, pero everything else na parang sinasabi mo is definitely good. Ang ko na lang is try na ma-practice mo lang siya, or at least find lang na you can get it to a more constant flow yung pagsabi mo, and it'll sound much more solid. Na wag kang parang magiging paano ba ito? Mag-stutter. And that'll all just come na lang from, practice lang naman. And again, repetition of casting. So, definitely gonna be,
I think usually kaya ako nagsistutter is yun nga pagiging kaya ako hindi nagsistutter kasi yun nga indecisive, and of course wala akong word na pwedeng maibigay doon.
Yeah, definitely. Pero yun nga, just look for a thesaurus, man. Definitely helps you out. And here's the thing din pala, kung kung siguro you're gonna be indecisive or siguro nervousin ka yan. Another thing that siguro pwede mo magawa is, kasi shoutcasting more so than not is not a one-man game, or parang it's not a one-man task. Meron ka palaging co-caster na pwede mong maging parang kaibigan pa sa trabaho na he'll help you na wag kang masyadong maging nervyoso kasi at least may kausap pa palagi. And once you can focus more sa co-caster mo rather than sa people who are watching you, mas mawawala yung nervyos mo.
Okay.
So, yun lang naman. Sasabi ko lang, if ever magkaroon ka ng co-caster, it's definitely something na kinukuhanan ko rin ng lakas pag kunyari, ninervous ka and whatnot.
I was actually taking some energy from you para hindi ako masyadong nervous.
Diba?
Pero kung mag-isa lang ako doon, probably I'd stutter more.
Exactly. So parang ayun lang yun. If you have, again, that's one of the things that talaga na magagamit mo rin if you have someone like that. Pero kung wala, I think lang talaga, just try to stick to the basics. Huwag kang mag-panic, and always have, I forgot to tell this pala kanina, but I think I can talk about this more sa next episode, is always have a shoutcast flow. Kasi diba sinabi mo sa akin kanina na you have things that you always look for, diba, when the game starts. Like for example, drafting after that, kung ano yung gagawin ng kalaban, kung ano yung win conditions nila. But you can actually write that down so you can actually cycle through it. Now, for example, diba sabi ko sa'yo magkakaroon ng dead air. You can cycle through a shoutcast flow para hindi ka mawalan ng pag-uusapan. For example, nag-mind fort ka. Pwede mo tignan yung shoutcaster flow mo and okay, tignan ko yung rotations mo ng kalaban and sakto, nag-rotate pala sila for a Baron play or nag-set up sila ng wards, kagaya sabi mo kanina, for a Dragon or Baron play, something like that, para at least hindi ka mawalan ng sasabihin.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I think that's about it. Meron ka ba bang ibang gustong sabihin or tanungin?
That's it basically, yun lang.
Alright. So, if ever man may gusto ko pang tanungin, feel free to ask me na lang, sa Discord or sa FB, and I'll gladly, if I can. Anyways pala, question. Do you play games on Steam?
Yeah, I do, but only a little.
Alright, kasi this is actually a secret, pero reveal ko na ngayon. You have also won a 250 Steam wallet code na sa akin, wallet code. So, I'll send you the codes later so you can input that sa Steam mo.
Okay, thanks, man.
Yeah. And yun lang naman. So anyways, man, thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, man. Thank you for the advices. Actually, kumukuha din ako kay Shinbu at saka sa inyo. Basically, lahat ng shoutcasters. Idol ko. Actually, my mom is a fan of Free too. She wanted to see. I think we saw each other at PGF.
Mm-hmm.
I was the one who was talking with you, yung kung nasan si Ate Rico or ano. Kasi yung mother ko fan siya.
Oh, so, yeah. I see.
And yung one day late kami. Yung yesterday siya nag-cast nun.
Oo. Alright, sige. Anyways, Anyways, man, thank you.
Okay.
Sige.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, no problems, man. Till the next one, brother. Alright, guys. So, we still have a few minutes. I think we can push this until 10. If you have any more questions to ask for shoutcasting, I'll definitely love to answer that. And this is just the first episode, guys. We still have a couple more, few more. Well, I wanted to make this as frequent as possible, but I'm kind of afraid the talking points won't be enough. But I think we can just keep reiterating on talking points. So yeah. And anyways, thank you so much, Poppy, for that one. Be doing wonders for the shoutcasting community. I'm just trying to help out as much as I can. I think we have a question here on Discord that they're talking about. Wait, what is this?
Asurai.
Oh wow, who is that? Hey, Kaisaya, thank you for the 100 bits. When is the next episode? I think I'm gonna do the next episode by next week. We're gonna try this every week, or every other 3 days. or at least maybe end of the week, so you know I have time to prepare and whatnot. Hayama, so here's the thing, is the practice shoutcasting, I only look for one person, but maybe on the next episode I can go for two. And after that, yeah, I'm just gonna try to kind of formulate how much time I'll need to at least help people, because for that cast I only get like 15 minutes, so maybe something like that. Yeah, I'll still pick people from the registrants right now, so don't worry, man. I might be able to pick you up as well. And yeah, one at a time, just you know, to keep it a little bit safe, and or at least to keep it a little bit more constant, or not too overwhelming. So yeah, all right, so there's a question here, is how to survive a solo cast. I think this is maybe the last question I'll answer before ending the stream. All right, or I'll end the stream and then restream again because I need to keep the VODs here for YouTube. Being able, I have casted before for TNC on their TNC Pro Cup, like late 2015, and a lot of those times it was solo casting, and the way I was actually able to survive that is I think I'm just a blabbermouth. Like, everything that you have learned from casting when you're casting with someone else, you basically do all of that by yourself, wherein you try to answer everything that you also have questions for if you can, and don't try to do things that you can't do by yourself. Like, if you're not an analyst, don't go for the analyst route. The thing that I did before when I was casting, especially in MOBAs, when I was solo casting, is that I look a lot on rotations of the heroes when I solo cast, because that's a lot of the talking points what I do. Yeah. Oh, right. I totally forgot about that. I also added the favorite foods. I was supposed to do a thing wherein I'm going to talk about like how this guy loves his favorite food. Anyways, Paradox's favorite food is any food as long as it's cooked by his mom. Damn it, I should have started that before introducing him. But anyways, that was... So yeah, I added that style. And... okay, here's another thing, guys. If you're also interested in casting and you don't know where to start, if ever, you can try to ask me, and I'll see if some of the contacts that I know are looking for maybe beginners, or starting shoutcasters. I'm not gonna say beginner. If ever, like someone like Sneaky Frog is doing here, he's definitely one of the guys you can talk to if he. For CSGO casting. Shoutouts to Eliza Taylor right there in the chat. So I'm almost done with the episode. Hopefully I did give you guys some insight. Again, I was super nervous with this one because this is the first episode of the Shoutcaster sessions. This is basically something that I really want to keep doing on a regular basis, because I want to give people, or again, aspiring shoutcasters, a start. The registrants, again, I'm gonna look for more. We have like right now 26 registrants, including Paradox a while ago, so that's awesome. So we have a lot of people who can actually join us right now. Anyways, guys, I think that's about all the time that we have. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. And I just gotta say, I appreciate how many people we have right now in the chat, those who are looking forward to or have interest in shoutcasting, because we already know this, me and the other casters, we already know that casting in the Philippines, it's already rising up. The amount of tournaments that you can do to cast is becoming more and more. And the other crazy thing is that we don't have enough shoutcasters. So that's always a thing. Anyways, guys, I think that's about for me. Just want to say again, thank you so much for the love, guys. I am just so happy that I was able to at least give, some advices here for Paradox, for him to with his casting. Definitely a good start for him there. Like I never, like when I started casting, I would have never gotten to the point to that point already. I think when he was with that type of flow from him, or again. Anyways, guys, if you want to register to the Shoutcaster sessions, all you gotta do is go to my Facebook page, fb.com/asuraiph, and then you can find immediately on the top there's a post, and on that post there's a link to how you can join the Shoutcast. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna be putting the VODs up on my YouTube channel maybe later or soon. And yeah, again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will be escaping or exiting now. Again, guys, thank you so much, and I hope you learned, you know, something valuable from the stream right there. Yeah. And to all the guys again who wants to try, again, this is not a Shoutcaster call. This is just me trying to give, you know, people to appreciate or to get started in shoutcasting as much as I can. Again, I'm no expert. I will never say that I'm an expert, but I am someone who has had almost 4 years of experience in the field, and that's something that I think I can at least give back to you guys out there. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you on the next episode. Thank you so much, guys, and ciao.
Legends never die when the world is calling you. Can you hear them scream?